Street Fighter II would come out in Japanese arcades in 1991, screaming into the spotlight as one of the best-selling games of all time. And in its meteoric rise, it would bring with it the fighting game genre and Capcom into a golden age. Today, we're getting Street Fighter Season 4. On top of that, this year we're getting a Street Fighter movie, and we've had some great releases from Capcom over the past couple years: Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Pragmata, all of which owe their success to the financial success of Street Fighter II, but it almost never happened. See, back in 1988, Capcom was on the brink of bankruptcy even after the recent release of Ghosts and Goblins, which is the game that Arthur is from if you're familiar with the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
結構コメント欄とかではあれ出たりとかしてカプコンが潰れかけてたとかってお前が言ってるだけだろとかよく言われるけど
Capcom is on a timeline and they don't have the dev time to research and develop the enemy AI and graphics and sound design that Street Fighter II is known for. So how do we bridge the gap from 1988 to 1991? Well, there was one game that would change the landscape of arcades so dramatically that Street Fighter II was able to take the ideas of the enemy AI and graphics and sound design from that game and take it directly as inspiration for Street Fighter II. A game that sold so well that it packed Japanese arcades and broke profit records at the time. That's right, a game that would fill arcades in a way that no other game would until Street Fighter II released 3 years later. A game, as you guessed because it's on my channel, is about Mahjong. But it has a little bit of a dark secret. So let's take it back all the way to the arcade era, when the only sumo wrestlers that were doing headbutts were in the Gokugikan, when Maximilian Dude was watching movies instead of being in them, and whenever Mahjong was the go-to game in Japanese arcades. That's right, you might not believe this, but the de facto genre of video games associated with arcades before they were fighting games were Mahjong games. Riichi Mahjong, the Japanese version of Mahjong, gained a ton of popularity in the 70s after magazines started publishing the results of games played by the strongest players in Japan, called the Saikosen Tournament, or the Battle of the Strongest, just like King of Iron Fist from Tekken. This Battle of the Strongest would in fact lead to professional organizations of Mahjong being created in Japan, like the one that I'm a part of, Saikosen Nihon Pro Mahjong Kyokai. And my organization even had a pro by the name of Ida-san, who is still known in Japan to this day as the Demon King of Mahjong. So we can already see parallels, but that's a video for another time. Back in the arcade era, Mahjong and fighting games actually shared very similar marketing terminology and were marketed to the same people. They were competitive games, they always used the word versus, things like that. And in recent years, we've actually seen a merging of the two communities, the FGC and the RMC. In fact, Riichi Mahjong has been a side game at several major FGC tournaments in the past couple years. Riichi Mahjong often gets called the FGC retirement home because you're able to play it without young man reactions and all that sort of stuff. And there's actually a ton of overlap between players. A lot of the people that I've met playing Mahjong IRL also consider themselves to be a part of the FGC. But I'm not here to harp on that, because I know that I have the same chance of getting you to play Riichi Mahjong as I do, I don't know, surviving Evo Moment 37 without using the Daigo parry. Okay, alright, you gotta at least try it now, okay. Back in 1988, Mahjong Gakuen, or Mahjong Academy, releases to major success. And not just any success. Back then, arcade games would come out on these little boards that you could then slot into an arcade machine. Selling 1,500 boards was a smash hit of a video game. Mahjong Academy sold 12,000 units. But what made Mahjong Academy so popular? I mean, Mahjong games were all the rage at the time. Surely there were other ones. What made this one stick out so much? Well, Mahjong Academy, for its time, had some of the best music, sound design, and graphics that you could find at an arcade. You have to remember that arcades were the places where you went to find the newest technology, the newest games, the newest graphics, what people could do with video games. So the best graphics that an arcade has to offer, the best sound design you've ever heard from a game, and it all goes into this. Yeah. Mahjong Academy was a strip Mahjong game. Remember that I promised to link this back to Street Fighter. So you best your opponents in Mahjong combat, and then you get to see them, And don't let all of that flash distract you from what I said earlier. The game had incredible AI, some of the best for its time. And all you new kids on the block, you might think, oh, ChatGPT AI, but that's not the kind of AI that we talked about whenever we talked about AI in video games. It meant how the computer reacts to your player actions, right? So these things were programmed in. The better your AI, the harder or more interactive your game would be. It would almost feel like, rather than playing against a computer, you were playing Mahjong against a real person. So not only was there a titillating reward at the end of all of this, but you also had to play your best Mahjong for the best endings, which means that for casual perverts and Mahjong perverts alike, it was the perfect game. Okay, if Mahjong Academy outsold Capcom's Ghosts and Goblins, it took over the arcades, it outsold everything, how did Capcom survive? How did these developers that seemingly came out of nowhere make this monstrous debut? Well, it came from this brand new company, one that no one had ever heard of before, Yuga. As a brand new startup company, Yuga came onto the scene in dramatic fashion with their release of Mahjong Gakuen. But who are these developers that could make a game with such incredible graphics and sound and gameplay? I mean, surely you would need veteran developers to make this sort of thing happen. I mean, was it a fluke? Well, why don't we take a look at the credits of the game? Well, let's see what we got here. Akira Yasuda, the Street Fighter II character designer and artist who made Ryu, Chun-Li, and Guile and all the designs of the Street Fighter II characters. Oh my god, that's Yoshi Okamoto. He was the Street Fighter II producer. He was the guy who oversaw the whole project. Wait a minute. Yuga is just Capcom under a different name.
結構コメント欄とかではあれ出たりとかしてカプコンが潰れかけてたとかってお前が言ってるだけだろとかよく言われるけどあれマージャンアカデミーなかったらやばかったですよね。
In a 2003 interview with the Style of Games, Akira Yasuda talked about how he and a team of 20 people from Capcom made Mahjong Gakuen and released it to great financial success that got Capcom through the early years and their financial crisis. Listen to this quote from the interview, it's great. We also created this Mahjong game called Mahjong Gakuen. Ultimately, it ended up not being released by Capcom, but it was planned and designed by Okamoto. The Capcom CEO at the time did not want Capcom's name attached to this kind of IP. But all of the money that was made from it and the developments on the AI and graphics and sound design would all eventually lead right into Final Fight and Street Fighter II. Without that money, Yasuda says, Capcom likely would have gone under and we would have never gotten Street Fighter II and the fighting game craze that hit the 90s. So, you might be thinking that that's the end of the story. Oh, Mahjong saved fighting games, and Capcom made a game, but it sold really well, so it saved them, and you're right. But there's more runtime on this video, because I have to show you something. Whenever Mahjong Gakuen was eventually re-released for the PC engine, it was also bundled with a VHS tape. And Capcom made a game. I swear you don't know where this is going. So they commissioned a comedy film from a now defunct company called Face. It starts as all movies should. Poorly animated, in space. I think the main premise is that they're aliens and there's a mermaid that they have to find, so they come to Earth. They go to the broadcasting company. Storyline revolving around the pun that the word for tile in Japanese is pie, and they make the obvious throw water in their apple pie, and then they get sucked into the apple pie dimension, really crappy and they end up finding the mermaid. And is that Undertale? What are we doing? But there's one gem from this stupid VHS tape that I have to show you. One shining light from this VHS. It's the ending credits song, and it is like one of the best ballads ever. And I'm using this song as my outro in all my videos and streams from now on. So, if you want to learn Mahjong, or you enjoy fighting games, or you like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the ballad. But you are where do you go? I'll be waiting for you. Where do you go? You're
my shining star. I will always be